Hi everyone, so for this video we're going to talk about the elements of art, which is the line. So this is our first lecture for the class. So after the lecture you will have a basic understanding of the line, different types of lines, and you will follow the tutorials to draw lines in Illustrator. Yeah, so let's get started. So let's start with the basic concept of the line. So line is simply a point moving through the space where its length is much greater than its width. Lines can be thick or thin, and they can have different styles. Some are straight, some are rigid, and while others are more flowing and natural. Lines can also be implied, abstract, or even psychic. So lines can be continuous, broken, jagged, vertical, horizontal, or diagonal. So lines are the basic elements of any drawing or art creation. In graphic design, the line is the key visual elements. In graphic design, the line is the key visual elements that's essential for building compositions, organizing information, and communicating different visual messages. Lines can be used in many ways to create various effects and styles, making them an essential tool in design. So when we learn Illustrator from beginning, we learn about drawing lines first. So let's start with the basic form of line. So the basic form of line, we can say, we all know that there are horizontal line, vertical line, and diagonal line. And then let's talk about the rigid line, or we can say it's geometric line. So the geometric lines are straight, structured, and mathematically defined, often associated with geometric shapes. So these lines are crucial for forming shapes and figures. They have no curves and often intersect at right angles. So you will perceive parallel elements within them, and they are always either vertical, horizontal, or diagonal. Geometric lines are often used to create a precise and organized compositions, helping to form shapes, angles, and spatial relationships in design. On the other hand, organic lines are free-flowing. They are irregular and often inspired by nature. They convey a sense of natural beauty, harmony, and connection to the organic world. That's why we call it organic lines. Unlike the geometric lines, which are structured and precise, organic lines doesn't follow a certain rules. They are more fluid and natural. Designers use them to suggest the sense of movement, freedom, and a connection to the nature. These lines are characterized by the curves, loops, and flowing shapes, presenting irregular lines that could be found in plants, waves, and human form. They are dynamic, they are less constrained, and they don't follow strict patterns, strict rules, or any mathematical principles. Continuous lines are the lines drawn without lifting the tools from the surface. So you can use a pen to draw continuous line, and you don't lift your pen from the surface, which could creating a single unbroken line. So artists often use continuous lines to convey the sense of movement, connectedness, and unity. So the technique is popular in gesture drawing and quick sketching exercise, where the goal is to capture the essence and the outline of a subject quickly without any details. So the broken lines are the lines that aren't continuous and have the interruptions at various points. These interruptions can be gaps, dashes, or other breaks in the line. Broken lines can convey the specific meaning of the broken lines can convey the specific meaning or serve artistic and communicative purpose. So they are commonly used in the technical drawing. When you draw a diagram, a maps, they usually used to present the boundaries, the paths, or the connections. The breaks in the line can make a composition feel more dynamic and lively. So the jagged lines are lines with irregular, rough, and sharp edges. They have uneven changes in direction. Unlike the smooth flowing lines, jagged lines can create a sense of angularity, sharpness, or chaotic energy. Their irregular form can suggest a lack of harmony or structure. They are often used in illustrations or designs to represent things like lightning or electricity. A spiral line is a curved line that winds around a central point. The curvature of a spiral line is consistent. Spirals have a clockwise direction, depending on the rotation around the central point. Spirals are commonly found in nature, such as in the patterns of seashells, galaxies, and planets. Spirals are often associated with dynamic movement and can convey a sense of harmony, energy cycles, evolution, and transformation. So they can be visually appealing and interesting. Fancy lines are the decorative elements with a stylish, intricate, and elegant appearance. Flourished may include the curls, loops, and intricate patterns. Artistic and designers often incorporate fancy lines to add elegance, enhance the visual appeal of the work, and it could add the sense of beauty to their creations. So then let's talk about let's talk about the actual line, implied lines, and psychic line. So the actual line is just the normal continuous line we can see. We can actually see that it's a valid line, right? So the implied lines are usually created by the visual connectedness between elements in a conversation. So these visual connections could help establish a sense of unity and coherence. Even though there may not be a continuous drawing lines, but the viewers could still perceive the connections between the certain points or shapes. So our mind will fill in those gaps, creating the sense of continuity. The psychic line is a line that we could actually see. It means one object point to another. Our eye will connect the two objects as a psychic line. So when you point to the windows by your fingers, the other people will perceive the direction between your finger and the window as a psychic line. Yeah, so after introduce the concept of different types of lines, there's another rigid line and there's another single weight line and varied weight line. So this is a really easy principle. So in single weight line, all the lines in the drawing or design have the same consistent thickness from start to finish. So this is a good example. They are in the same width, while in the varied weight line involves using different thickness or weight, and they are or weight for different parts of the lines in the drawing. So in this part, you can see some part is thinner, some part is thicker, right? So after introduce some concept of different types of lines, so I've posted several videos on Canvas, which give you a demonstration of how to draw those lines in Illustrator. So during my demonstration, I will also mention some keyboard shortcuts. So I know some of you are using the Mac, some of you are using the Windows. So whenever I mentioned all option key, um, if you are using Windows, you may tap on the Alt key. If I said Command key, you may tap on the. If you are using Windows, you may tap on the Control key. Yeah, so there are some little bit difference. So this is the link where you can see the default keyboard shortcuts for Illustrator. So if you go to this website, you can see the list. So it shows you Windows shortcut key, Mac shortcut key. Yeah, so I will suggest to you you can remember some of the shortcut key, especially for the tools you often used. It will improve the efficiency of your work. Yeah, so you can read through this list. It will be helpful for your design. Yes, so that's our lecture for the lines, and then we'll be moved on Illustrator practice.